There is so much buzz in Hollywood.
With PRF, when I'm injecting it, it's
like if you're an injector, please thumbs this up.
Here.
Gonna be me.
Oh, and it helps with gray hairs.
Come on, Martha, you're 80 years old.
Kris Jenner has a tighter jawline than me.
What's your take? What do you think? Would you do it? Welcome to Fill and Tell, where we spill the tea on all things aesthetics.
We're your hosts. I'm Megan.
And I'm Lauren.
We're here to give you the inside scoop on what goes on behind the treatment room door.
From filler to facelifts, skincare to aesthetic secrets.
We're taking you behind the scenes of the industry with unfiltered conversations, expert insights, and maybe a little gossip along the way.
Okay, this is a fun topic to talk about because there is so much buzz in Hollywood, right? Everyone has seen the celebrities. Everyone has seen Anne Hathaway's glow up. I mean, honestly, Martha Stewart's too, right? Like from last year.
Okay, and also Kris Jenner just now had
yes. Lindsay Lohan,
yes.
The Kardashians, like the buzz in Hollywood aesthetics is, I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah,
They're looking fantastic. So we have speculations. It's a lot of surgery, but we have some other speculations that we think that they're doing. And we're going to take a deep dive into the bio-regenerative and bio-stimulating side of aesthetics.
Yes.
We're going to cover PRP, PRF, PDGF,
the newest one.
Sculptra, Radiesse, all of these things that are natural collagen-stimulating effects that can give you really beautiful and natural results. So There's a lot to unpack here, so buckle up. We're going to get into it. So we'll start with the first one.
The easiest one, I think that most people know about, either from getting injected in orthopedics or they know about microneedling, is called PRP. So PRP is when we draw your blood, we spin it at a high speed, and we get out the plasma.
Right.
And the plasma, it can be injected, but it because of the way it's spun, it is released very quickly.
Wait, well, it separates.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you take the top from the bottom. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You take out the...
Are you taking it once you take it out?
Once you take out the plasma.
So, yes, okay, I'm back with you. I'm like, where are we? So, okay, the PRP.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
Platelet-Rich Plasma.
Platelet-Rich Plasma. There's so many. Fibrin, all these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
it contains all of the growth factors.
The liquid gold.
Cells.
That's kind of like, I feel like where it's buzzword from back in the day was the liquid gold, which I think now we know is kind of like, it's kind of like subpar, honestly, compared to everything else.
Well, compared to the newest one that we'll get into, which is 1,000 times more potent.
Yeah.
But
so back to PRP. Yes. So you take out the plasma and you can re-inject it.
Yes. Okay. Or you can apply it when you're microneedling.
Yes.
The downside would be that because you spin it so quickly, your growth factors are going to be distributed very quickly.
Right.
So you
just don't have a lot
swelling.
You're really just taking out the growth factors themselves. They're injected. Megan just lost all of her cards. Who knows if we're going to be on track anymore. But so it's injected really, and it's so concentrated that it releases all the growth factors at once. You get a ton of swelling from it, and they're kind of just like in and out. They're there and then they're gone. And so they're not lingering enough, I don't think, to produce a lot of collagen formation like some of these other ones are. Which
then brings us to PRF. So instead of platelet-rich plasma, enter in platelet-rich fibrin.
Right.
This is spun at a much lower speed, which allows a lot of sort of this fibrin plug and a lot of other growth factors to actually stick around. And then when you inject it, because it is slower, you have a lot less swelling.
Right.
And the chances of that collagen and elastin sticking around
and really regenerating it becomes much higher.
Yeah.
And you can also then turn that into this newest biofiller, which is called Easy Gel.
Yep.
And that one really has been popular for the last few years. People have really been kind of like experimenting with that and dabbling in it, and patients love it because it's like their own
nature's filler. Yeah.
Right.
You know, you basically take the fibrin that we were just talking about, you heat it and cool it. You combine it with albumin,
which is such a bitch of a process, by the way. Like, if you're an injector, please thumbs this up because it is such a long process. It takes 45 minutes to make this stuff.
But you know that our MAs are doing it, and props to them.
Right.
Because
I'm sitting scrolling on my phone. But it takes so long to make this stuff. And you have to heat, you have to cool, you have to let it sit there. And then you inject it. Then you mix it. Yeah. Then you mix it, then you inject it. And like, it's a pain in the ass to inject.
Well, here's the thing is when I'm
about Easy Gel.
When I'm injecting HA filler, I really know I can just kind of push that syringe. I know exactly what's going to come out.
Right.
With PRF, when I'm injecting it, it's like,
it like sometimes squirts out, and then you're like, now you have a clot. I've got to remix it. I go through so many different like cannulas and syringes of trying to like get this stuff to, and you're dealing with blood products. Right. So like when you take someone's blood, the blood clots. You're dealing with these blood products, same thing when they have been mixed and made into this gel, they do clot. And so it's kind of just like, it's a part of it.
So when PRF came around, though, we were really excited because we wanted an alternative to patients that either couldn't get filler, maybe they have a really bad autoimmune,
right,
or they just really weren't into filler yet. So this is an alternative. It comes directly from them, but that brings us into all of the downsides of drawing your blood, spinning it, and only relying on whatever was in that blood source.
Right. And it's just the effects sometimes can just be a little underwhelming. I have so many of my patients who I convert from PRF. We've done 3 sessions. They loved the way it looked, but then it kind of went away.
Yeah.
Now we're converting them to HA filler because they really like the effects of how it looks when we put it in.
Yes.
But yes, there are a lot of other downsides to it. And I mean, there's a million, like hydration status, your diet, there's so many other things to kind of take into play of how good is your PRP or PRF going to be.
Yeah, I mean, so we don't draw your blood, we don't get your platelet count.
Right.
But we're just relying on that platelet count and all of those growth factors. High. Yeah, to be high enough that even when we spin it in some maybe sort of denatured through the separation, like you're supposed to be getting a high enough amount that it's going to produce something.
Like a 5-fold increase, which maybe you're getting 2 to 3.
Right. And so
at best.
Right. And that also has to do with the, how we do it. Maybe we do a bad blood draw. I mean, there's a lot of
I do a fine blood draw. It's the patient's blood is the problem.
Yeah.
It's not the sticker. Like, you can do a blood draw and draw the blood. But, like, if they have not had a glass of water today and all they have had is coffee and their Ozempic, then, like, it's not going to be good. It's not going to work.
Yeah, if they have had no protein for the last 3 days and they're running on coffee, then their blood will not work. It won't. How can you expect your blood to be good enough to re-inject to make you all of a sudden have like this gorgeous face if you're not actually
healthy, like fueling your body. So I think if patients are seeing an injector and they're feeding you a bunch of bullshit about how they can like give you this biofiller and you're on all this weight loss medicine and you're eating 500 calories a day, like don't do it. Just run and wait until you can, eat a full diet again, like you're back in a healthy weight and you can actually make some collagen again.
Yeah.
So there's some, I think, due diligence from an injector and from a patient's perspective that we need to be better about, educating them and doing better for them and not allowing them to do treatments that they're not necessarily ready for.
Yeah. I mean, I thought of this thing the other day about how we are not in the business of selling. Like, we never think of ourselves as like in sales. We are in the business of educating. Like, we've always wanted to educate. And so I can educate you on PRP, PRF, Easy Gel, and tell you which one I think is best for you. But when you tell me when you think is best for you, that's when things get a little bit sticky.
Yeah, for sure.
So
that's kind of like the nature's
filler. that is the most natural you can get. It's your own blood, and we are expecting it to produce collagen and elastin. There's some limitations around that, and we now have a few other things that we like better.
Yeah.
You had just said that it's not for severe volume loss, and I think that is a good segue into our big biostimulators.
Yeah. So
Sculptra and Radiesse.
Yeah. So these are not natural. They're synthetic,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but they're more natural, I guess, looking than
Yeah.
HA can be,
Yeah.
right? They're kind of they're that slow burn. They're the fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
They're not packing this huge like punch. They're really kind of like slowly developing over time.
Right.
And so honestly, they're some of my favorite products though to inject.
Me too.
I love Sculptra and I really love Radiesse and the things that they can do.
Yeah, they both. I feel like we use them in different ways.
Right.
Sculptra is polyl-lactic acid. Comes in a powder. We have to dilute it or reconstitute it with a bunch of water.
Right.
And so when you're first injected with it, you probably look a little bit puffy. If you are gaunt, then you're gonna love that look. But basically, what's left over, it is biodegradable and biocompatible. So what happens is all the Sculptra goes out of your face in like 3 days, and it's just left with the little seeds that we fertilized.
Right.
I mean, you can think of it sort of as a garden. It's just these little seeds that were fertilized, and over time, those seeds will bloom.
Exactly.
And they'll bloom into collagen. And so, like Lauren said, it really is a slow burn. We really have to educate about how slow, and also how many treatments. Because typically, if you are in your 50s, you're going to need a vial per decade. I always set my patients up with 1 session of 2 vials, 1 session of 2 vials, and then we regroup. But everyone's different, especially if they have severe volume loss.
I think, yes, for volume specifically, that's always my go-to. And then Radiesse, on the other hand, is calcium hydroxyapatite, which is a completely different substance. It has a gel carrier, so it can be injected for volume if you're injecting it as is. It's not my preferred way to inject it. I really like to dilute it and to make it very dilute so that it can stimulate collagen and elastin, and I really like it for more crepey and thin skin. So that's kind of my go-to for someone who's really thin, petite. They just kind of have that, you know, it's that very paper-looking skin. So a lot of my really, really thin patients on their cheeks, their necks, it's great for hands, arms, knees, anywhere where you're having that like thin skin.
Radiesse is stimulating collagen 1, collagen 3, and elastin. And elastin is what's giving us the strength.
The strength, yeah.
So that is really great for crepey skin.
Right.
And like necks when they're so crepey.
So collagen, for everyone who doesn't know what these things are, because no one does, collagen 1 is your structure. It's your strength. It's your building blocks. It's the most abundant. And then collagen 3 is going to be the flexibility.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. And then
so these products are providing Sculptra is collagen 1 only.
Yes.
Radiesse is going to be both.
Yeah, there's been some I haven't found any studies, but when we went to a Galderma dinner, they did say that there's basically some collagen too, which then leads to elastin. So they're trying to say that Sculptra has both collagen and elastin.
Right. So these are great options though if you're looking for, I think, just subtle volume, right? Like you don't want someone to know that you've had anything done, but you really just need a little bit of a boost. I love it for jawline like tightening and really helps to define the jawline. It's great for those like small little radial cheek lines. It's just great for
temples. It's great.
Yes. If you just have subtle volume loss and you just want something that's undetectable, that's why I think these celebrities, I think that's a lot of what they're doing now. You can tell that they've dissolved all of their old stuff. I mean, the Kardashians are a great example. They reversed their BBLs. They've reversed their faces. Lip filler. They have made everything smaller. Yeah. And now they look exponentially better. And I think they're probably doing a little bit of surgery.
I'm sure.
You know, but they're doing these natural and just like undetectable injectables now.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that is a perfect example of Anne Hathaway. Yeah. I mean, you look at Anne Hathaway 20 years ago, and then you look at her now, her skin looks the same. That is Sculptra. So if you want any example of what Sculptra is, it's Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, maybe
and probably
a little facelift.
Now, you know, what's resurfacing on the internet now, yeah, I think she's probably had a facelift. But
I want her surgeon's name.
I know.
Why don't they come out and tell everybody?
I don't know. It sucks for them that everyone's always buzzing about how good their patients look, but they never give them.
Martha Stewart, though, still denied that she had surgery. And I'm like, come on, Martha, you're 80 years old. It wasn't horseback riding.
Is Kris Jenner denying that she had surgery?
I don't feel like she would.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any like statements.
I mean,
from her,
Kris Jenner
but-
has a tighter jawline than me.
Like,
and we
at
are
60 something.
Isn't
What
she
is
like
at
close to 70?
Almost.
We're
But
40 years apart.
It just goes to show that the injectables have come a long way. So
Yeah.
I think the fear mongering on TikTok and Instagram I'm hoping is on its way out, because we're really seeing a complete reversal of what was happening back in 2020 and how great it can look now.
Yeah.
And I really think it's in part because of all of this natural kind of more biostimulation that we're doing.
Yeah.
And a little bit less augmentation.
Yes, I agree. And then specifically the fear mongering around Sculptra and facelifts.
Yeah.
I think that was a topic for a while.
It still is. I mean, I still get it all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I tell patients now? I'm like, get a better surgeon.
Yeah. Well, no. So I think that if you are injecting Sculptra properly and you're going to an injector that knows what they're doing, Sculptra is going to strengthen your skin. It is going to make it more healthy. It is literally fertilizing collagen. All of those things make your surgery outcome better.
Right.
So I actually follow
And
a
if it's in
plastic
the
surgeon.
dermis, right? It's in the dermis. Your facelift is happening
down.
much
Yeah,
deeper.
yeah.
And
So-
if you are, if you're getting a little weakened, half lift or these SMAS lifts still, like, yeah, I think you run into a lot more problems with it. When you're deep plane, which is really the way of, it has been the future of facelifts for a while, then I think you're avoiding a lot more of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all that to say, I do tell patients, I'm like, you got to get a surgeon who's willing to kind of bend with what's going on
Right.
in aesthetics, because there is not one female male out there that's waiting all the way until 50 and hasn't done anything to their face. It's
Right.
just not happening. So we're all doing all of these treatments all of the time, and
We have to adjust.
Yes.
I mean, it's 2025. People are still going to get Sculptra, and you're going to have to do a facelift on them.
it's going to be me. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had Sculptra, and I absolutely will be signed up for a facelift one day.
I just love the idea that I can, per year, get a little bit of collagen sprinkled in my face, and it makes my own body produce more of it. And so that way, when I get to 50, I don't need 5 vials. Like, I need 1 or 2, and I keep going that way. Now, if you're 50, this doesn't mean you can't get Sculptra. It just means that we come up with a care plan that incorporates a few vials, because we need to treat you, but also get you to correction. And so, do you have any people that you would pick Sculptra over versus Radiesse? I think that's a
big one.
a big question.
We went back and forth a long time. So now my go-to is Sculptra for almost everyone, unless they just have such thin skin. And then I do lean a little bit more Radiesse. And that's not a lot of patients. I have a couple that I can think of that are they are frail. They're tiny little people. And so they just need, I think, more. Radiesse can benefit them a little bit better.
Because of the elastin.
Sculptra, I'm doing more in my mid-late 30s and then beyond, and then that 60, 70 age group, I sometimes go back to Radiesse. And then specifically, I'm a more Radiesse person, like neck down. So I've done, knees, arms, necks, it works great for.
It also works good for cellulite. So pop out little cellulite bands and put a little Radiesse in there. So
There's
all
a
of these
lot that
things
you
have
can
really
do with
cool,
it. So then switching gears, now outside of biostimulation, I think the next topic is exosomes, which is
super buzzy
and dicey, kind of. There's just not a lot.
I think people are feisty about it.
I feel like you're either you're all in, or you're not,
or you're saying they're it's all about the FDA approval. It's all about so.
And there's a lot of exosomes out. I mean, there are no exosomes that are FDA approved. I mean, I don't know. How much do you care about that?
Well, Plated has FDA sourced exosomes from Platelet.
But I'm talking about injecting exosomes into somebody. What's your take? What do you think?
Take on what?
Do you think, would you do it or would you not?
Inject exosomes? Yeah, I would.
You think so?
I think that so think about when you're injecting someone's face with Dysport. Well, if you do their whole face, you're off-label 11 out of the 12 areas that you injected because Dysport is only on label
for one
area. And I get Botox, or I get Dysport here, 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 here,
Yeah.
here. So yes, I would, but if I did research and if I know what I'm doing,
if you know that it's coming from an ethically sourced lab, I think that's really the big thing.
It's important to know what you're doing.
The fact that there's no FDA approved injectable in exosomes, I think heightens a little bit of suspicion.
But there's also, and we haven't talked about the newest growth factor out yet, but there's not an FDA indication for
cosmetics.
PDGF injectables.
For cosmetics.
Yes.
But for other areas, yes.
Yeah.
So to be off-label is one thing, I think. But to be completely not approved, I don't know. I just am a little bit more suspicious of it. I haven't done enough research, I think, to know exactly the labs, the testing that they're going through. You have to, okay, what's an exosome, though? Exosome
let's go back to the
right,
beginning.
Let's go to that, because it's taken from a human, right? So, you donate your blood to this lab, they're going to take this exosome from your bone marrow, from, your fat,
platelet.
from your platelet.
From your umbilical cord.
Yes. So they have to do thorough testing. You got to make sure you're not re-injecting somebody with HIV exosomes.
Right. So they go through this full process. It's extracted out.
Right.
And then, an exosome is a messenger cell.
Right. It's basically getting in there and telling your tissue what to do.
Yeah.
To heal, to decrease inflammation, to grow something, to decrease something. They're powerful, certainly. I just think there's more science to be done.
Yeah, so we like the topical. These have been FDA approved. They're exosomes
for topical use
have been approved by the FDA or cleared at least.
Yeah, because they're and when they're injectable, they become a pharmaceutical. They become a drug. When they're topical, they're cosmetic, right? So I think I don't know why they have that big distinction, but yes, they are. We have some that are approved for topical use,
And I think it's cool that they're the only treatment serum besides retinol that has been proven to stimulate collagen and elastin.
Are we talking about plated specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
About exosomes in general.
We keep going back and forth.
I know.
This is probably confusing for people.
Okay, platelet or plated. Let's talk about plated.
Do we think everyone understands exosomes?
Yes.
Okay.
Exosomes are a messenger cell. They tell your body what to do to stimulate something. Collagen, elastin, decrease inflammation. That's what they're doing. They have injectable forms that we really don't mess around with, and now we have a topical form, which is plated, which we love. Cleared the air.
Yes. And we love plated because, like I just said, it's the only topical FDA-approved treatment serum, because we call it a treatment. We really don't call it a skincare product.
Right.
That can completely heal our skin cells, if you will. Like we said, the exosomes send little text messages. They communicate with our damaged cells, and they tell this wrinkle to repair itself. They're kind of little Pac-Mans that basically regenerate and regrow new cells.
I love plated because they did a lot of research out of Mayo, and they did about 10 years of research there. A cardiothoracic surgeon is actually who kind of came up with plated itself, because he was using exosomes for regenerating heart tissue. And it's interesting because they were getting them on the back of their hands, and one of their wives noticed that their hand skin was improved. And she was like, we should make this into a product. He was like, I'm trying to heal hearts over here, and you want to heal your wrinkled hands. And so that's how plated was born.
Yeah.
And it is, I think, one of the most cutting edge products on the market is for a topical use every single day. You can get about 80% collagen stimulation from just using plated on its own.
Yeah, it has about 1 trillion exosomes per bottle, and then 15 billion per pump. We love Plated Intense. There's also other ones that have some hyaluronic acid in them.
For all the men, you can regrow your hairline. I'm calling you out for all of the receding hairlines out there.
Helps with thickness of the hair.
Yes.
It basically increases the density of the hair, and it maximizes the hair thinning. So honestly, and it helps with gray hairs.
Yes. It has a reversal.
It literally helps with gray hairs.
Yes.
I be
so all the ladies,
I'm putting it on all the time on my grays.
That's right. Megan struggles with gray hair in her 30s. She used to dye them herself.
Yeah.
When I first met her, she was a box dye girly.
And then I've since
really
gone up the chain.
I know. The budget's increased quite a bit now. Okay, so the final bio-regenerative product I think we want to talk about is the newest and hottest one on the market, and it's my favorite, honestly, right now.
I mean, I think I've injected like 10 vials in the past 2 days.
Yeah, it is a powerhouse. It's amazing what it's doing, and it's called PDGF, okay? We've thrown out a lot of acronyms today, but
stands for platelet-derived growth factors.
Yes. Specifically, we use a company called Ariessence, but the actual injectable that we're using is PDGF, and it's been amazing. This company came around, I think I heard about it at the end of last year is really where I started to hear about it. And it does have FDA approval in orthopedics, in wound care, and maxillofacial surgery. Mm-hmm. And so they've been using it for 15 years, I think.
Yeah, it's been around a while.
But it kind of creeped into the cosmetic space last year.
Well, I feel like just like PRP, it always starts in like ortho or wound care, and then we finally get it in aesthetics, because naturally when we're injecting something into our faces, we want to do all of the research and make sure it's there.
And they just entered into some cosmetic trials, I believe.
Yeah.
And so PDGF is a much, much stronger version of this PRF and PRP that we talked about in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I mean, significantly stronger.
So about 1,000 to 300,000 times more potent. So why we love it so much is that we talked about the limitations that PRP and PRF have. They have limitations with your blood draw. Were you drinking the night before? Have you had too much caffeine? Do you eat protein? So we don't have to control for any of those factors in PDGF, because they know the exact amount of growth factors in every tube.
Right.
Because they've made it. It's actually made the same way that insulin is made.
Right. I think that's a big topic for people, because people are really confused on where it's coming from. I think exosomes, again, that goes back to like being fearful of it coming from a human. And so PDGF is much different than the exosome, because it is a recombinant technology, which I think took me a really long time to try to really figure out what that meant. Yeah. But they've essentially taken this gene.
Yes, like the amino acids, the gene, and they've like harvested it into a yeast.
Yeah, they grow it on yeast.
On yeast, yeah. And then they purify it.
Exactly. So it's the same way they make insulin for diabetics, basically. Mm-hmm. And no one's not getting their insulin because it was grown in a lab.
Yeah.
So it is grown in a lab, but it is grown in a much different way, and there's no human actual components to it. So it's pure, but it's super potent.
It's super potent, and so I think that also goes to show that you only need maybe 1 or 2 treatments versus our PRF Easy Gel patients, they were needing 3 to 5.
Yeah, easily.
That's really hard to convince someone to do. Hey, continue investing because it maybe works, but we need 5 treatments. Like,
right.
And you have to draw your blood every time. I don't like to draw my blood once.
Yeah.
Like I'm not that person that donates their blood.
No.
I'm sorry.
So it's great for under eyes, and I think that was a big thing. We really didn't talk about the areas that we're using it, but PRF and PDGF we use a lot in the under eye. The under eye is super thin. Mm-hmm. It, filler sometimes just doesn't look the best there, or it looks really great, but 5 years later we're taking it out. And so this is a really great way to stimulate and improve those under eye hollows, improve like discoloration, thin skin, and it works really quickly. I mean, I see patients back in a month, and they look 10 times better.
And you're talking about PDGF, right?
PDGF specifically.
Yes.
So
you had a great before and after of one of our friends, Brandy, and I show that to my patients too, because it was only 4 weeks, and there was a significant improvement. You should wait till about 8 to retreat.
Right.
So, y'all waited another 8, and at that point, you didn't even think she needed one. And so I've had great before and afters with my patient. She had a little bit of crepiness here. Yeah. We've done it twice now. She's so happy with the results. She feels like the skin isn't as crepey. It's tighter. Yeah. And that was her main concern.
It's the way of the future, for sure. I think that if you're not doing it, you will be very soon.
And I don't know if we mentioned with PRP and PRF
Right.
Easy Gel, we're also injecting these in the same places
Right.
of the PDGF, which is typically like under eyes. You can do nasolabial folds.
Pretty much
but,
anything.
Yeah, and so you're just not going to get the volume that you would with filler.
Right.
And you have to be okay with that, because if you want to go the natural route, like these are the options. And I kind of consider PDGF natural, but not really, you know.
Natural but synthetic.
Yeah. It is
so
lab made.
This is a large topic to unpack. I think we will continue to go over these as we continue to do episodes, but this is a lot of information, I think. But it was such a
It's a fun topic because
topic.
biostimulation and regenerative medicine are at the forefront of what we do. We are seeing celebrities, like Lauren said, get their filler dissolved, but yet still look amazing.
Way better.
It's got to be something, and it's your Sculptra, it's your PDGF, a little bit of surgery along the way. But we've seen an uptick in this in our office. We love doing Sculptra. We are diehard plated fans. So we can, what we can do, if people want to comment and pick a topic that they'd love for us to dive into more, like
next
Sculptra,
time.
happy to do just a whole episode on Sculptra or
We can
PDGF.
nerd out and get super detailed.
We can
on
dive
it.
into it.
So fun topic. Leave us a comment. We loved hanging out with y'all, and we'll see you next time.